let's talk about a story about Los Angeles. But, this isn't the LA of movie stars and sunshine. No, this is a place where dreams go to die, where the hustle grinds you down, and where a very real, all-consuming fire becomes a terrifying mirror for the blaze that's been burning inside its people for years. The story kicks off with this incredibly powerful quote from James Baldwin. And this one question, it just hangs over everything that follows. It forces us to ask, what's the point of fighting for a place in a system that's already burning itself to the ground? You're going to want to keep that question in mind, because it is right at the heart of this entire explainer. And this line immediately drops us into a version of LA where the smoke isn't just from wildfires. No, it's the smog, it's the lies, it's the sheer exhaustion of it all. It's that constant haze of just pretending. The city itself is a character here, and let me tell you, it's already choking long before the first flame ever appears. Okay, so our story starts with a literal fire, a huge blaze bearing down on the city. But as we're about to see, the real disaster, well, that's been unfolding for a very, very long time. As the ash starts to fall, we meet our three main characters. You've got Jake, who showed up in LA decades ago with these big dreams, and now he just exists. Then there's Chloe, whose ambition was just ground down into pure, cynical survival. And finally, there's Marco. Born and raised in LA, he knows better than anyone that the city doesn't owe you a single thing. These aren't heroes. They're just reflections of the city that made them, and is now quite literally consuming them. And these characters, they're really the human cost of that city's broken promise. You see, the story uses Los Angeles as this powerful symbol for a hollowed-out American dream. It's supposed to be the ultimate prize: fame, fortune, a brand new start. But for our characters, that promise has become a trap. This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the myth of LA, a fresh start, the place where dreams come true, where you go to make it big. And on the other side, the reality our characters are living, a relentless grind that leads to nothing but survival and pure exhaustion. The city doesn't build you up, it chews you up. This quote from Jake just perfectly captures that feeling of being completely consumed. He really thought he could play the game, and win. But the game is rigged. The city, the system, it always wins. The key takeaway here is that total disillusionment, that moment you realize you were never actually in control. Okay, and this brings us to the absolute core of the story. The fire isn't just some external threat closing in. It's a physical manifestation of an internal, emotional, and spiritual blaze that has been raging inside these characters for years. So we have to ask the question, what is this fire, really? The story is forcing us to look right past the flames on the horizon and ask, what is actually burning down? What's the true source of all this destruction? And of course, it's Marco, the realist, who finally just says it out loud. Honestly, this is the thesis statement of the entire story. The real terror isn't that the fire is coming for you. It's the realization that you've been carrying it inside you all along. You can't escape something that's already a part of you. So what is this internal fire made of? Well, it's burned out ambition. It's the crushing weight of lies told to others and to yourself. It's the profound emptiness of that hustle culture. And maybe most of all, it's years of ignoring the truth that their lives and the city itself were always on fire. And Chloe's line here just drives that point home. Her observation isn't about the future. It's about the present and the past. The catastrophe isn't some random event that's happening to them. It's just the final, visible stage of a decay that started the second they bought into the city's hollow promise. So logically, when a fire comes, you run, right? You get out. So our next section looks at the physical escape from the city, which, as you can probably guess, quickly becomes a metaphor for something much, much deeper. You know that iconic image of a gridlocked LA freeway? Well, here it becomes this incredibly powerful metaphor. Their cars are completely stuck, just like their lives. They can't move forward, and turning back means being swallowed by the disaster they're trying to flee. It's just this perfect symbol of being trapped by your own choices. Jake's line here just highlights the absolute desperation of it all. Their escape isn't driven by any real hope of reaching safety. It's just a mindless, compulsive act. They're running just for the sake of running, because stopping would mean having to finally turn around and face what's been chasing you all along, yourself. So, what happens when the running finally stops and the fire dies down? This final part of our story explores what it means to survive when the world you knew and the person you thought you were has been burned to the ground. The morning after is completely quiet. The chaos is gone and it's replaced by this pale yellow haze. The city is just a skeleton, and that quiet is deafening. With the noise of the hustle finally gone, they're left with nothing but themselves and the ruins. And the huge question is, what now? And then Chloe delivers another one of her devastatingly honest truths. There's no talk of rebuilding, no hope for some grand renaissance. And why? Because you can't fix something that was broken from the very start. The entire foundation of their lives, that LA dream, it was all an illusion and never really lived. So the only logical thing to do is just walk away. The story totally denies us a neat, happy ending. There's no redemption arc, no great lesson learned that fixes everything. There is only acceptance. They leave the ruins of the city behind them and they just start walking with no destination. They are finally free from the lie, but they are also left with absolutely nothing. It's a really stark but incredibly honest conclusion. And this brings us right to our final thought. The story ends with them walking away, but it leaves us, the audience, with this question. If the system you're a part of burns down, whether that's a city, a career, or even a belief system, what comes next? When all the illusions are stripped away, what do you build from the ashes? And is it even possible to build something real this time?